Right, okay, welcome back to the Big Event Podcast by Akkroo. Today, marketing team back with me. We're talking about our favourite marketing tools at Akkroo. Starting off, thought it'd be good to just introduce each other, like what we do. So start with me. I'm Stefan, I'm the marketing manager. I look after the Akkroo brand. I look after the delivery of stuff like this, the podcast, anything audio visual, and also conversational marketing. Mike, do you want to talk about what you do?
Yeah, sure. I'm Mike. I head up the demand gen and marketing team. And my main responsibility is making sure we're hitting those lead targets, making sure the quality of lead, the volume of lead we're passing through to the SDR and sales team is what they need.
Great. And Emily?
Yeah, I'm Emily. I'm content marketer here at Akkroo. I kind of manage all of the written content we produce, so that's our blog, our website, our kind of downloadable e-guides. If you've read any of our content, chances are I wrote it.
You turn our bullet points into actual content pieces.
Yeah.
My scribbles.
As little bullet points as possible for the maximum amount of content. Okay, well look, let's go relatively quick fire around the room. What's your favourite tool? How did you find it? And how do you currently use it? So, Mike, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, sure. I've got two tools that I'm going to list as two of my favourites at the moment. So the first one is Real-Time Board. They describe themselves, I think, as a collaborative whiteboarding tool.
Yeah.
So essentially, a shared blank canvas, you can drop in templates for like whether it's wireframes or data mapping. What I primarily use it for, and what I get the most benefit from, is mapping our lead process and the data touch points. So when a lead comes in from a certain source, when does it become a marketing qualified lead? When does it become a sales qualified lead? At what touch points get it to that criteria? And it's really good just to have that in a visual format. So I can understand it a bit more clearly. Visuals are easier, and for other people as well, it's the marketing team, but the entire business. So when someone new joins, whether it's, we've recently had someone in a new customer champion join in the customer experience team. So I'll go through the real-time board on what we do, how data flows through, where marketing touches leads, where content will have an impact, where AV will have an impact.
Yep.
It's a good collaborative visualization tool.
I think I'd never heard of it before you started actually at Akkroo, and you'd done a lot of pre-work before joining, and it was great to just see, like you say, that visual aspect, because it's easy to write a big long document about what you're doing, but when you can see it visually, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a tool more teams at Akkroo are using. Products, creating all sorts of stuff in there. The wireframing aspect of it, really easy. You don't have to be a designer, you can just go in there and create stuff.
It's got a lot of uses. I think I first used it at Akkroo in my job interview to kind of map what we could do, and a lot of it we are doing now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And if you go on the Real-Time Board website, I'm guessing would be realtimeboard.com. They have a really good 90-second explainer video, which outlines a whole bunch of uses. Really cool tool, a lot of uses, especially for visualizing things that probably get stuck in spreadsheets and are hard to explain.
You said you used it for your interview.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
I found it, so in my previous job, it was a tool that the VP of marketing there brought in.
Yep.
So I've kind of taken the credit for that since I brought it here.
Well, maybe they took the credit from someone else, you never know.
I'm sure they did somewhere along the line.
Okay. Well, so that's one tool. Anything else you want to say on Real-Time Board, or I think it's great? But I
think, it's just it's really good to collaborate and visualize things. So I'll leave it at that, really. All
right. We'll come back for the next tool in a sec. Emily.
Yep.
What's your top tool at the moment? What can't you stop using?
Yeah. So obviously, as a content marketer, it's a content tool. It's called Gather Content. They kind of describe themselves as a content operations platform. It's a tool that I've been using for quite a while. I started using it in my last job. I worked at an agency, content marketing agency. So as the agency grew and we brought on more customers had more kind of moving parts to our content production, we needed a tool to help us keep track of everything, make sure we're meeting deadlines, make sure that the right customers were seeing the right pieces. So it was a tool that I kind of found and started using. And then when I joined Akkroo, we didn't have anything like that in place. You know, we'd have half a document outlined in one folder and then the same document written in a different folder, and it was very difficult to work out what was at what stage. And
scrappy startup
style.
Yeah.
So just kind of introduced that to the team, and it's been really useful. I've certainly found it really useful anyway. So.
Yeah, it's been a vast improvement from our, like you said, Dropbox paper documents, Word documents floating around, and just the thing I really like about it is everything's in one place, obviously, but the process from brief to sign off to kind of final piece of content ready for publication, the process can be mapped and controlled.
And because the tool is very customizable, so you know, I set up that whole workflow as to brief stage, drafting stage, review stage, all these different steps. But if we had a different process, if everything changed and we were working with a freelancer to do various things, we could have a different process for a different project. Makes it very, very easy, very kind of flexible, and really easy to sort of grow with the team.
Yeah. You mentioned there that you used it in your previous role in a content agency. Was that something that you brought on board, or was it something that was there when you started?
It was something that me and a couple of colleagues, we'd kind of done some research and brought that on. Sort of looked at a few different tools, and this was the one that worked best for us.
I suppose with content management systems, things like WordPress, when we use that for our blog, don't mind saying that, it's a great platform, and there's a lot of content tools in there. You know, you can review it and you can see all the revisions you've done. Can't comment, but it is nice to gather content, to have a tool outside of that you can just organise everything.
It makes it a bit easier to kind of collaborate on things as well. So, you know, if you're reviewing something, you can kind of leave pointers or suggestions, or just good job on this section.
The ability to create like projects, like we've got the website content all in one place, marketing, top of funnel content in one place. And then I think it's just made content a much more scalable operation. So as and when we bring in more people on the content side of things, it's something that they can pick up quickly, understand the areas they're working on. As you mentioned, the collaboration is really cool as well.
And it'll mean like you as kind of managing the team, or if we have a kind of head of content role, it'll be really easy to just get that overview as to what content is at what stage. Works really well.
Nice. I like it too. My turn, I guess. Definitely a tool I spend a lot of my time in is Drift. So big fans of Drift here at Akkroo. Gone through various stages of Drift as well. So in those early days, probably before they were well known, we just had the free version installed, and it was the classic chatbot. Hi, how can I help? And definitely the last 12 months really ramped up how we use it. So it's a key part now of our entire online experience, whether that's our website, our landing pages. There's generally some sort of playbook, as Drift call it, to interact with visitors and start to qualify them. And
we're kind of using it across all our different kind of platforms.
And it's a very easy tool to use. You know, they're on a fantastic journey as a company, and it's been great to see that. And it's a tool as well that is becoming like really important. I think recently we did our quarterly presentations, and Drift came up, and it's one of those tools that seems to be a key touch point for a lot of deals, and it's accelerating some deals in a sense. People are used to picking up their phone and texting their friends via iMessage, WhatsApp. You know, why wouldn't you have a chat with someone on a website?
When you went through those numbers of the deals that Drift had touched, I was really surprised at how many there were. And it's impressive that I believe it definitely is speeding up the sales process.
Yeah.
It takes away those gaps. If you're looking for something on a website and a drift bot can direct you in the right place, get you there quicker, that benefits obviously the end user, the prospect, and it also benefits us as a sales and marketing team. It's really cool.
I agree.
Have we kind of found that the SDRs, they're kind of getting more meetings booked through Drift, like sort of the longer we use it?
Yeah, so for definitely where we're trying to, as Mike said, point someone in the right direction, perhaps they want a demo of Akkroo where the end point is a meeting with an SDR. And like I think it was a learning curve for them at first. You know, it's this new tool coming in. They use a lot of tools in their stack already. And I think Drift is one of those things they're like, oh, another thing to keep track of. And now they're getting these pre-qualified leads come through to their dashboard where a bot that's pre-programmed has asked them all the questions they would usually ask, and they can just jump straight into that kind of discovery call and find out if they are truly, you know, the right fit, and then pass them off to the account executive team.
Yeah. It's made that whole process more efficient. Although I would say if you are thinking about implementing Drift, it's worth considering what you're doing on the chat side of things at the moment, because it may feel like to some salespeople that you're taking an element of their role away.
Yeah.
They're used to jumping on the chat and manually typing to someone. But what we found is we get better engagement out of the chatbot opposed to a real person, which sounds kind of crazy, but I think people in some cases are wary that when a salesperson starts talking to them on the website straight away, they might not be ready to be sold to yet. So it feels easier possibly talking to a chatbot.
Yeah, that was a good summary. Yeah, and kind of keeping the theme, I didn't find the tool. I think it was Andy, our co-founder, who set it up. But I picked it up now, and it's something that I look at all the time. So yeah.
Yeah, you've certainly you've done a lot of work to kind of optimize how it all works, and just make it work for kind of us as a marketing and sales team. Yeah, love using it.
Yeah. I think I'm owed about 3 Drift t-shirts from Twitter and LinkedIn and things, so I'll call them out now. But we can move on after that if you want.
Yeah, me too. Using Drift. Yeah. All right, so I've got another tool, but Mike, you had another one, so if you want to kick off with that.
So I spend a lot of my time optimizing paid search, demand generation campaigns on like a cost per click basis. So one tool that I use frequently now is called Optio. So that's an AdWords optimization tool. So we got AdWords to a level where we were as happy as you can be with the performance. So good volume of leads were coming through at a cost per lead that we were happy with. Yeah. And I wanted to spend less time day in, day out on AdWords itself. Yeah. So Optio is a tool that can automate and help identify some of the changes you can make. So it automates processes, key tasks like finding new keywords, making sure you've added your negative keywords in so you're not wasting money, reminding you to set new ads or to pause a losing ad if you're running a split test. So a real time saver, and they've got pretty cool integration with Slack now, so you can ping your suggestions through and then you can approve them in a few clicks. So that process of managing AdWords has become a lot more streamlined and takes me a lot less time, and we probably do get more out of our AdWords than we ever have before, which is pretty cool.
How long would you say you kind of spent optimizing the ads before you used Optio?
Probably a few hours a day.
Yeah.
Especially in the earlier days of Akkroo when we were more startup, I guess. You want to make sure, we still do want to make sure obviously every pound we spend is going to the right place and we're getting maximum value out of it. But there's that increased pressure in the early days because obviously you've got less budget. So it's cut down from a few hours. I still log in and check AdWords itself like once or twice a week, but it's cut that down substantially, definitely. And I found that it was a bit of a different story. That I went to a speaking event, so like a customer success type of workshop where Lincoln Murphy was speaking. And I sat next to the co-founder of Optio, Guillaume, and got chatting. He was doing some AdWords consultancy at the time as well. So knew he was a real specialist in the area, showed me the tool. When I joined Akkroo, we purchased that. And it's a company we're linked to in different ways.
Yeah.
So our chairman, Gareth, the marketing manager at Optio now, I believe worked at one of his previous companies. So it's a small SaaS world.
Yeah.
Three degrees of separation.
Yeah. But a really good tool. I think it's built more for AdWords agencies, but we've seen a lot of benefit from it. I think if you're heavily invested in AdWords, and if that's a key driver of leads for you or an area of growth, it's worth checking out.
Yeah, I can't comment on that because I don't get AdWords.
No.
I was going to say that right now. Fair play. I mean, I think anything that makes that job easier, it does look like there'll be people listening to this podcast who totally get AdWords and paid, but it does look like a horrendously complicated thing, and something that if you didn't keep an eye on it, it could get out of hand if you haven't put the right measures in.
Spend a lot of money very quickly, I imagine.
Yeah, if you haven't got negative keywords and your campaign set up properly, it's amazing how many people will click on your advert. And you might wake up to a bit of a nasty surprise.
Are you talking from experience here, Mike?
There was one, I've never had any nightmare situations, but we did in my previous role. Once we woke up, checked the click report, and it spent a few £100 overnight, which was fine. It was within our daily budget. But we looked at the search term report, and it was really bizarre groups of search terms. And then we later found out that there was a crossword running in one of the major newspapers that weekend, and people were searching a phrase that then brought up one of our landing pages.
Okay.
And people must have been clicking on it to find the answer. So that was a one-off. That's my only kind of...
So your bounce rate for the landing page was huge.
The conversion rate dropped massively from formulas, but I'm assuming we helped some people out with the Sunday crosswords, so every cloud, I guess.
Oh, good little story. I like that. All right. Good. Emily, any other tools?
Nothing more from me. I just log in and do my writing.
Yeah.
A lot of gather content.
Yeah, a lot of words every day.
All right. Well, I could mention one more, which is Trello. I think Trello, you've either heard of it or you haven't. I know I was chatting to one of our sales guys at lunch, and he said before I started at Akkroo, never heard of Trello. I'd heard of it before for project management, but it seems to be one of those tools company-wide that's used a lot. In different shapes and forms, whether it's the product meeting and how they structure that, or for me, it's definitely like all our audio-visual projects. They go in as ideas, and then they turn into briefs, and then they go into production, and then they go to deployment. That's really good. Working with Pip, our designer, any creative demands, it's that pipeline of work, and it's just one of those tools. Like for a free tool as well, it's pretty solid, and I think anyone can jump into it and get something out of it.
Yeah, it's one of those tools that I use it outside of work as well. Like everything from kind of planning holidays to like got married in the summer, and so I've got like these are all the places I need to change my name.
Wow.
Yeah. A whole Trello board dedicated to name changing.
A whole Trello board dedicated to life admin. So
that's, you know what, for a SaaS product, that's probably like the holy grail, surely, that you've created something that is not just for B2B, it's for B2C, it's for weddings, it's for sales pipelines, it's for product meetings. Wow. And onto a winner there. And how did I find it? Well, I joined Akkroo and they were using it.
I can't. It's a tool that I've used in a few different companies, and I can't remember how I found it. So maybe that's a compliment to Trello itself, that it's kind of ingrained. I couldn't imagine not logging into Trello and checking projects and project managing and making sure things are done. And the fact that you can get a lot done with the free version is pretty amazing.
Yeah, you can. I mean, we've got it plugged into Slack with comments and stuff.
That's one of my favourite ways actually that we use Trello here is so we've got it integrates with Slack, and we've set it up so that anyone within Akkroo can kind of submit ideas to the marketing team. So events to exhibit at, or I don't know, articles that we should read or anything like that. They can just go in Slack, type #idea, and whatever they then type will get pulled through into a Trello board, with ideas and suggestions that we can then go and review.
Yeah, that's a pretty huge Trello board. The idea as well.
Yeah.
We sorted through that the other day. It's great, you know. It's
Yeah.
lots of things to go through. We've definitely got a pipeline of ideas for the podcast, for videos, for blogs, guides, events, all sorts. So
Yeah.
Well, that combination of Slack and Trello is giving the whole company a voice within marketing.
Yeah.
And I would imagine in every business, people have marketing ideas. Like I said, whether it's trade shows, campaigns, they bought, I don't know, a pair of trainers because they saw an advert on the tube and they think the copy could apply to us, or we could do something similar. So that simple combination of Slack and Trello has enabled the whole company to have a voice. And off the back of that, we've implemented ideas that have been submitted. So MarTech East, there's obviously a load of trade shows we could do within the MarTech event space.
yeah,
And one of our sales reps submitted the idea of exhibiting at MarTech East out in Boston. That put it to the front of the agenda, the top of the agenda, reviewed that, and we ended up going to that show. I think it's one of our most successful trade shows ever.
yeah.
In
Great
terms
fit,
of-
great
yeah.
fit show.
Amazing. So yeah, it's good to open marketing up and give it a wider voice.
Yeah.
It's a good example of that. I reckon we would have spotted it. One of us would have, but it might have been a little bit too late to get the most out of it. Like do the pre-marketing before the event,
Yeah.
make your stand look great, get the right stuff to give away, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It'd be more like probably one of their salespeople calling us going, look, we've got some spaces left, do you want to come along? And then be like, headless chicken, and delivering it that way. So yeah, well done that person. Cool. So that was tools we're currently using. Open question to end with. Anything you're evaluating at the moment, or anything you like the look of? Maybe it's not quite right for Akkroo, but anything you've seen and thought that's a pretty cool tool.
We use this tool already. So Zapier, or as I've been pointing out and incorrectly saying before, Zapier.
Zapier. I've always called it Zapier.
Zapier.
And then I saw their company strapline recently, and it was makes you happier.
Yeah.
I thought Zapier makes you happier. That doesn't rhyme.
I think there's a lot more we can be doing with that.
Yeah.
So we use it already for certain integrations, and that their integrations list is just growing and growing and growing. So I'm sure there's a lot more we can do there, and I'm excited to see what tools we can get speaking to each other that don't natively speak to each other or have native integrations. So really enjoy that.
I don't think I've ever managed to successfully do a Zap.
I'm sure did you not with your you made an analytics board in Google
It worked
Sheets.
for a bit, and then something's changed and it's broken, and I just don't have the willpower to go back and find out what's wrong.
I think it's you that mentioned when you get a Zap to work, you feel like the best engineer developer ever.
Is that I'm a developer now.
Yeah.
I'm invincible, and then it breaks.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun, I suppose.
For about a month, I was,
Head of engineering and content.
Yeah, and then for whatever reason, something broke, and now, who knows? I'll never get that engineering job. What can you do?
A lot of powerful stuff in there, so that's something I'll definitely be spending a bit more time in. And there's a lot more value to be had there.
Yeah, you can plug loads into it. Yeah, definitely. Emily, anything you're kind of looking at? Or?
One tool that I keep telling Mike that we should get is Ahrefs. So it's an SEO tool, and I've looked at a few. I think we use Moz. Do we use Moz?
We've
used
Moz
a
before.
few here at Akkroo, and
Moz, SEMrush too, that we've had licenses before.
Yeah, and Ahrefs it's been the best that I've used to date. I really love all the content that they produce. Anyway, it's one of the blogs that I read regularly. So helpful, and the tool just has so much information in there. So yeah, just putting it out there, Mike. That new budget.
We're probably going to get a call from a salesperson now.
Yeah.
If you're a Ahrefs person, give me a call.
Cool. I don't actually have anything I'm evaluating at the moment, which I think is a good thing. I'm happy with the stack I've got. I've got I'm looking at my folder now in Chrome. I can't count how many are there because there's so many, but there is just so many tools, and I feel like recently we've been a lot more focused on what each of us are working on rather than being like generalist marketers.
Yeah.
But we've all got our own areas now, so actually I don't feel like I need to bring on any new tools.
Not right now. I think we've talked about this before, the most used slide last year in presentations at marketing events must have been the MarTech 5000.
Yeah.
So it's good, there's a tool for everything, and things are getting more specialised, and it's worth looking into. If you have a challenge or a problem you're facing in a marketing role, there's probably something out there to help you, which is exciting.
So the three of us obviously are sat around now talking about the tools we really like using. I've also sat down with the rest of the marketing team and kind of put together a list of the top 10 tools that we like using. Not the boring ones. We're not shouting about how we use Gmail. But yeah, so best tools for video, what our events manager likes to use, and yeah, put together a top 10 list on our blog.
Yep, and I'm going to read out the URL here. Correct me if I'm wrong. blog.akkroo.com/best-martech-tools.
Yep.
That's it. The easiest thing to do though is if you want to read that, there'll be a link in the show notes and you can go and click that and go through to our blog. Have a read. Look, we're a SaaS company, aren't we? And we love software. So if you've got a favourite tool you use to kind of optimise your time, make your life easier, why not let us know? Drop us a message on LinkedIn or Twitter on this post. Tell us what you're using, and you never know, might do a podcast about that at some point. Cool. Look, guys, thanks for joining again today.
Thanks, Steph.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Cheers.